Hello viewers, I am Dr. Ritu, a practicing reproductive geneticist based at Kerala. So as we all know that genetic conditions have got no cure or treatment, and the only available technologies are there to screen for the presence of any genetic conditions before pregnancy, after pregnancy, or when the child is born. So technology has now become so developed and is at par to detect genetic problems even at embryo level. There are four scenarios where patients come to you. Patient can be pregnant, or patient just after pregnancy they want to get themselves screened depending on any ultrasound markers being found, and they want to get themselves screened in case of any genetic or chromosomal problems. The second scenario, when patients are unaware that they can be silent gene carriers, either they or the husband side, they can be silent gene carriers, and then the prediction gets too complicated in such scenarios where the patients have to be screened at first level. And the third scenario is when the patient already has a affected child or the index child, they don't carry a genetic report in them, and we as genetic counselors and practicing geneticists need to screen them for the presence of any condition. The fourth scenario is patients do want to get married, but they seek premarital genetic counseling where they do not want to get themselves married in a house or a family where there is suspected genetic condition. So that calls for an ethical scenario where many of them do not want to really get themselves screened before marriage, but it is slowly picking up in India. Coming back to the enhancement of next generation sequencing technology, I think I'm in love with this technology, not because of the fact that I'm practicing it, but because it has shown numerous benefits on a family, on especially on mother, on a family who is looking to have a child from many decades but are unable to because they have a genetic family history. Now, NGS has been promising in the field of pre-implantation genetic testing for either for chromosomal problems or any single gene defects where the family is suspected to carry one. So it all depends on the levels of testing, as I said in my previous interview. The right use of technology to screen them holds the key to giving a diagnosis to the parents. So once you have a diagnosed report, you can definitely have a genetic counseling session with the parents and then tell them what the child has and how can we avoid that in the future pregnancies. So I have dealt with numerous single gene disorders, even a lot of chromosomal abnormalities involving translocations where NGS has given me promising results. I recently had a case of retinoblastoma where patient was having the carrier status and their first child had retinoblastoma as well. So they did not want to have a next child with the same condition as it is life-threatening disease. Similarly, for spinal muscular atrophy, SMN1, it is a very deadly disease where families do not want this to happen in their child again because they have suffered multiple times. I think the drug therapy or the gene therapy which has come in recently for the spinal muscular atrophy, which demanded nearly crores for altering the gene, has been a major attraction. Spending crores for a gene therapy which is not even promising and spending few lakhs for a pre-implantation genetic testing done definitely holds a greater impact. So I would suggest, being a geneticist, that go to the right clinic, go to the right technology to have children free from genetic conditions. So both NGS and microarray. Microarray is a different level of testing where you can tell prenatally or postnatally, give a diagnosis, and then after getting a diagnosis, either on the embryos the disease condition can be tested, or depending on parents' decision, if they want to go ahead with a natural conception, even microarray can be done to test the fetus to be. Similarly, patients with recurrent miscarriages or RPL category of patients can sometimes have a balanced translocation in their blood karyotype. Such patients will be more prone to repeated miscarriages and can lose the hope of having a baby. So in such cases, we can detect after the karyotype if they are carriers, and then we can discuss with them options of both prenatal pre-implantation genetics, and then depending on the patient's choice, we can go ahead with the concerned after talking to the patients. So pre-implantation genetic testing in most of the translocations have worked very well. We have data of nearly 500 cases so far with good accuracy and good results, provided it has been done at the right time and in a right place. I would focus more on genetic condition or single gene disorders where many patients who are silent carriers who did not even know they carry a mutation in their gene, and they repeatedly have abnormal babies or babies with abnormality having life threatened conditions can actually be avoided using these PAR technologies. So, coming to single gene disorders, disorders like thalassemia and all can be nicely picked up by sequencing technologies, and it can be avoided both prenatally, and also blood disorders like hemophilia etc. can be avoided very well.